The goal of communication is to make your life better, to allow you to make those connections that propel you to being a better you and to have opportunities in your life. This speech is absolutely one of those situations. The networking speech is one of those that once after you develop it and you grow it, you have ways to open new doors. Networking is more about farming than it is about hunting. It's about cultivating relationships. Now, in this course, this is absolutely true, and that is why I ditched the elevator speech, because the elevator speech is truly a hunting adventure, when what you really need to do is grow relationships that will be bountiful for years to come. What I want to talk about here in the next couple minutes is the situation, networking versus pitching, elements of a networking speech, and keeping the door open. There are multiple situations in which you will find that a networking speech will come in handy. The job interview, a job search, promoting self, promoting a company, perhaps your company as an entrepreneur, strengthening relationships and growing relationships. These are all important aspects of a networking speech. Networking versus pitching. A pitch is a high pressure situation in which you are just kind of directing yourself at a person in a high velocity, and you're resulting in an either or situation. Either they're going to be receptive to it or they're going to hate it. And if they hate it, they're going to avoid you, and you're closing doors at that time. It is tiresome. People that hear it all day long don't want to hear another speech focused on the other person. You want to have it focused on the audience. And because of that, pitching can be very, very tiresome. It's a linear communication model. You're not looking to communicate with someone, you're looking to communicate at them. It's monologuing. It's the evil villain up there telling their grand scheme of how they're going to take over the world. So it is absolutely something people don't truly enjoy. And there are no off-ramps. Once after you jump in and you are pitching, you're there, you're stuck, you're going straight forward, regardless of what the feedback you get is, because it's that linear model that's only to them, at them. So you're not adjusting based on that feedback loop. This makes pitching very, very frustrating for people on both ends, both the person delivering it and the person receiving it. So let's take a look instead at the networking aspect of it. Networking is designed to be the beginning of a relationship. It's a spectrum of opportunities. It's not an either or. Because you are centered on the audience, you're listening intently, you are getting the feedback. And you can tell if, okay, this isn't what they want to hear, then let's not pressure them into disliking me. Instead, let's leave some doors, windows, and unexpected opportunities open. Matter of fact, if you start out with your networking speech and you get the feedback the person really isn't wanting you to talk at them, stop and listen, because you have a transactional dialogue going. And people actually remember people who listen. If you take a moment to listen, you're starting to bond a relationship. And there's always an off-ramp in this situation. You don't have to stay on that fast lane. You know, if it starts to go off from your networking speech, well, it's about a relationship. So listen and let them lead a little bit. If you can stay focused on your expertise and your knowledge, yes, then that absolutely is the water and the sunshine that makes the garden grow. Networking elements, preparation. Now, earlier on in the semester, we talked a little bit about how your knowledge is like a bank. The more you put in there, the more you have to share. So what you're really trying to do with this is you're trying to withdraw from that and put that on display. First thing you're going to start off with, though, is not focused on you. not focused on, look how wonderful I am. Instead, start off with an attention getter. Perhaps there's current events, such as the recent job market, which has found employers really searching hard for employees, good employees. So you could start off with, have you heard recently that, and then you give some facts or statistics or information that's relevant to the person, to the audience. Have it related, of course, to your skill set. Don't start off with something that you have no knowledge of, because that absolutely is going to decrease your networking opportunity. Instead, focus on what your abilities are and have that attention getter related to highlight you. Have it open-ended. Give the audience a chance to talk. After all, your audience is one, maybe 2 or 3 people. It's not a room full. Having a true dialogue is possible here. So have that open-ended. This will also signal if that off-ramp is needed or if you can continue on down the path. It's much nicer to find out in about the first 5 to 10 seconds of a conversation if it's going to be valuable to you or not, rather than go through your whole pitch and have yourself out there only to be shot down. So this is your first off-ramp opportunity. The body of it, you're creating your credibility in a memorable way that your audience will relate to you. Demonstrate your knowledge, your skills, your experience, your college degree, the classes you've taken, how you've done things in the past that truly enriched. So this is an extemporaneous practice in speaking. You've given them a question, they've given you something back. Now you go to that bank of knowledge and you draw out and you say, you know, I'm glad you brought that up because, and this gives you the chance to truly talk to your audience and watch for that feedback. You know, if you're starting down a way, then you get negative feedback, readjust and go ahead and give them the opportunity to drive you and to take you to where you want to be. Now, you are going to be outlining the speech, but when we're speaking extemporaneously, yeah, you're just basically drawing from that bank. Your outline is just a roadmap to get you there. The conclusion. Do a review focused on them. You know, I'm glad you took this couple moments to speak to me. I am so happy we're able to talk about 1, 2, 3, whatever you spoke about. And wow, your insight was wonderful. You've really motivated me. You're telling them that you like them. And this is important because people like people who like them and who are like them. So leave with a positive interaction. Include an opportunity to follow up. I would love to discuss this more. Why don't we schedule a time? Give contact information. Set a date to come back and meet with them. This way, you have made it a full circle. And when possible, give a mic drop. Give a quote. Give something powerful related to your experiences. Something that will make you remember the conversation and make them remember you. Review. What we talked about is networking versus pitching. Don't pitch. Anyone that's ever played baseball knows you don't like being pitched at because it hurts. So you don't want that. Elements of a networking speech and keeping the door open, because that is truly what this is about. People like people who help them like themselves. And that is the basis of networking. Your audience wants to leave feeling good about themselves, and that's what your goal is, because they'll remember the people that made them feel good.